Now, the campaign was launched last year during the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence, where corporate South Africa was responding to calls for a collaborative effort to put an end to the scourge. A bold new movement called #NoExcuse won at the Cannes Lion 2018, the International Festival of Creativity. Its focus was on driving positive change among South African men. To talk to us more about the campaign and its achievements, we're now joined in studio by Andrea Quay, who is the Vice President responsible for marketing at AB InBev Africa. Welcome to Morning Love, Andrea.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on your show.
Andrea, we know the issues with regards to gender-based violence in South Africa. We've seen incidents of femicide as well. What did it mean to you to come up with a campaign that solely focuses on changing the mindset of men specifically?
It was something really meaningful and something really purposeful. We were inspired, obviously, by what Carling Black Label stands for, and Carling Black Label is all about instilling pride and masculinity, and we were also inspired by what was happening in the country and our high levels of femicide. We felt that we had to make a positive contribution, and that's where the idea came from.
The campaign caught a lot of attention. When you were coming up with it and working on it, did you think it would go as far as it's gone?
Yeah, we did. We knew it would go far because it was dealing with something that was really meaningful and dealing with something that a lot of people don't want to talk about and don't want to get involved in. So we took quite a bit of risk going in, but we knew it was the right thing, and we knew it would catch a lot of attention from our consumers as well as from the industry.
I mean, I like how you reiterate that it was intentional. You were deliberate in the messaging and saying that, discussions like this have to be held and we shouldn't be afraid to talk about issues such as this. How important is, collaborations between, private sector, government, as well as just citizens of the country in ensuring that we beat a scourge such as this?
For us, it's extremely important, especially when you're going into this kind of space and this type of purposeful work. As a corporate, we have to be part of the fabric of South Africa. We have to be part of society. And in order to be part of society, we need to engage with government as well as the NGOs and our consumers, which is why we went into this, because we've got a very large base of consumers that we usually communicate to. And we felt that it was our job and it was our responsibility to really engage in the conversation with them.
In terms of the NGOs that you've partnered with, what are you hoping to still do with this campaign, and how will you be taking it further, considering that next month is Women's Month and in October we'll be seeing, the 16 Days of Activism against violence against women and children?
So this movement has multiple layers, and the layer that won at Cannes was really about driving awareness and sparking conversation. But we have a very deliberate plan on the ground, and as you know, South African Breweries has a very broad distribution network, and we go into taverns, we go into rural areas, and we go, really across South Africa. So part of the campaign, and our thing is that this isn't a one-year campaign. We've committed ourselves to a target in the next 5 years, so what we're doing is we're actually engaging at a tavern level with our consumers to really drive awareness and start the conversations around the role of men in gender-based violence, because often gender-based violence is seen as a woman's problem, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that it becomes a man's problem as well.
Now, how do we go beyond the talking? Sometimes the sentiment is that the talk shops continue and we don't really come up with practical solutions to some of the social ills that we face. How do we move beyond just the conversations?
Okay, so as I touched on earlier, we are going across South Africa into the most rural of the rural areas. We're partnering with very small and community radio stations to have conversations, because a change in behavior starts with a conversation, and so we are really driving that. We've also got workshops that we are running. We're running with young people as well as people in communities, and we've got a smart drinking squad, which is a South Africa. We've hired about 100 people that go into taverns to have conversations, to engage with men around the topic, but also to help communities mobilize themselves and say, what are we going to do? What actions are we going to take so that this type of behavior is unacceptable in our streets?
Andrea, this is such a multifaceted campaign. So hashtag no excuse. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That was Andrea Quay, and she's the Vice President of Marketing in Africa for AB InBev. Not only did she win the Cannes Lion International Festival of Creativity for the hashtag No Excuse campaign, this was memorable internationally, and it impacted the way men think and behave when it comes to gender-based violence.